Okay. I'm out of ideas. Best intro ever. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Colin Monroe. If you're new here or haven't yet, be sure you hit like and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for daily gaming content and stick around until the end because you won't believe this #1 spot. It's easy to think about the most well-known and sometimes overrated creepypastas. Well, what about the ones you may not know about? That's what we're exploring with today's list of the top 10 underrated scary gaming creepypastas. Roll the intro. And at 10, The Orb. The following creepypasta is based on the game The Forest, and an orb that you can unlock at the very end of the game. This orb allows you to have two modes, blue where monsters don't spawn, and red where they spawn more and are attracted to the orb. This author got this orb and left it on red at all times. He made a farm that would collect him bones, creepy armor, and skulls, for decorating, you know? Well, after logging out of his game and leaving the orb on, he started hearing scratching. He looked out the window and laid eyes on what was scratching. Every monster from the game was coming for the orb, even though it was in the game. And at 9, Achoo. My name is Death, and I choose you. You're my friend, and I love you. When I rise, your life will end, and all this because you're my friend. You gotta love the poem ones, right? Like, why is Achoo trying to kill me? Why is his name Achoo? And why is he attacking me if I'm his friend? Two-faced. And at 8, the Ballad of Tentafu. There is a game called Planet Coaster where you just create an amusement park and have to keep it maintained. The game contains many tracks and each ride has its own unique one. The Ballad of Tentafu is the song associated with the barrel wheel ride from that game. This author heard the song and for some reason fell in love. They couldn't describe the emotion they felt when the song came on. And they would constantly ride that ride so they could hear the song. But slowly, it's like the song grew and it was evolving. It had enough sentience to affect other rides. You are able to change the song that plays on each ride, but the author didn't know that yet. But slowly as he continued playing and growing his park, each new ride would eventually have that same song playing. It infected his game, and then it started to infect him. He heard the song everywhere. He would hear it when listening to any music, even Taylor Swift. Why would you listen to Taylor Swift? He still hears it to this day, so whatever you do, don't listen to the Ballad of Tentafu. And at 7, Sentret. I was alone at night when I was 7. My parents had a date night and I was taking advantage, staying up late and playing Pokemon on my Nintendo DS. When I started my game, I was on the first route, and every Pokemon I would encounter was a Sentret. I damaged the first one but then ran away, but the next one that appeared looked like it had the same HP. It was the same level too. I did this 2 more times and every time the same Pokemon appeared. I always used to joke about if you would see the same Pokemon twice, it was following you, but now it seems like that statement is true. I flew to another route to get away, but lo and behold, he was still following me. I decided to catch it, but that was a big mistake. My Pokeball burst open, and the shrapnel somehow hurt my Pokemon to the point of fainting. Then, instead of throwing out another, I stepped in. The Sentret attacked me and clawed off my face, and now my avatar has been disfigured ever since. Yikes! You know how many cents I give? Tret. And at 6, Bone World. This is a new creepypasta based on the new VR title Boneworks. This game involves you going inside of a game you are helping to develop and trying to debug it. However, this author who goes by the_Lord was playing this game on his brand new HTC Vive. The Lord was in the sewer level, and the enemies were dropping out of the ceiling. Wonderful. He was making his way through until he took a step too far, and a null body dropped on top of him. When this happened, the game immediately crashed and he ripped his headset off, terrified. He could still hear the null body's grunts and did his best to shake it off, but as he puts it, he ain't no Taylor Swift. What's with all the Taylor Swift references? He went to go to bed, but as he entered his room, he heard the signature null buddy hello. As he closed the door, a null buddy was behind it and grabbed him while his back was turned. Lord threw him off, but the null buddy kept getting up. Nothing would stop this thing. He was being strangled until somehow someone ran in and stabbed the null with a knife. When the enemy dropped, he could see the savior was himself. And at 5, Dagon the Dark. While the wait feature has always been in the Elder Scrolls games, in Skyrim something happened to one player who was waiting for the shops to open. While waiting, the environment around you updates, NPCs moving and the sun moving as well, but while in Whiterun a dark figure rose out of the ground and shot back in quickly, in around half a second. This user, after seeing this, went onto online forums to see if anyone had experienced this as well. The model appeared to be a dragon, but while typing they misspelled dragon and thus the community named him Dagon the Dark. After coming back to their save, all their dragons were gone. They weren't even at word walls. They tried to start a new game, but it didn't start off normally. They started off at Dragon's Reach. The Jarl was missing, but you could still hear his voice saying you have to slay the beast. And if you decided to wait, he says please, and then the music stops until you leave. They head to the Western Watchtower to fight Mjolnir, but instead they get sucked into dialogue. After the chat ends, Dagon shoots out of the tower and all NPCs start running away. He swallowed them one by one. There is more, and they may end up defeating him, but you'll have to read it for yourself. And at 4, misfortune.gb. Misfortune is supposedly a game for the original Game Boy that saw limited release. No known hard copies or even ROMs exist, so all information about this game is derived from personal accounts and some scattered screenshots. The player seemed to control a young boy in a strange building. After a little bit, you are confronted by an evil being. The character never identifies himself, but people seem to think of him as the devil. The entity will challenge you, and upon accepting the challenge, you are sent to a difficult puzzle you must complete. You progress through rooms while trying to find a way out. One of these puzzles being 4 cabins on a screen with a dialogue box that reads, "Choose wrong and misfortune will befall your loved ones." Make any mistake throughout the game and the screen will cut to black, show a more detailed image of the demon, and "I am God here" will appear in a bloody style text. Ever since the 1990s, people have been discussing side effects of this game. Players claim to have begun experiencing chronic depression and dread only moments after seeing the game over screen. People who claim this are now thought to have died, or disappeared because their accounts had become inactive. Some people believe that viewing the image of this character after losing the game puts some form of curse on the player who witnesses it. And at 3, Pale Luna. The premise for the Pale Luna legend is apparently someone had circulated some copies of a mysterious text-based adventure around the San Francisco Bay Area. At its core, Pale Luna looked like any other hastily crafted text adventure. Lines of text would form on screen asking for specific commands, and putting in these commands would cause another line to appear, such as "You're in a forest, go left. You're in a forest, go north. You're in a forest," things like that. Many gamers became frustrated by the fact that Pale Luna would crash if the wrong command was inputted. One player remained diligent in finishing the quest and had won the game and was given some coordinates. The player then followed them to their location, where the body of a young girl, which had previously gone missing, was found. This reminds me of the premise for some movie. I may be wrong, but I feel like I've heard this concept before, you know? If you know what I'm referring to, let me know in the comments, because I have no clue. And at 2, the truth about Fort Zancudo. Getting only 5 upvotes on Reddit, this player was having an ordinary GTA 5 online session with his friends. 5 stars, VIP work, strip club, and raiding the military base. But that last one is where it got scary. Next to the airstrip there is a tower you can enter and climb up all the way. At the top there appears to be some form of control room, where there are typically a couple of guards, but you can easily take them out. The author and his friend were role-playing, pretending like they were gathering intel, so they were shooting out every monitor they could. After shooting one, however, they could see a door open on the airstrip from the window. They rushed down to see what was going on, but the author's friend gets killed by a tank. The author gets in and his game freezes. When it gets fixed, he's in what looks like a lab, with surgical desks and empty status tubes everywhere. They were odd, malformed, they looked alien. The fog inside them disappeared and the tubes opened, dropping the creatures to the ground. They were gray aliens, but not like those costumes normally found in game. The author was on a call with his friend when his phone dies, and when he goes to plug it in, the lights in the game turn red. As they do, the aliens get up and start charging at the player. He can't equip weapons. His character won't move. Instead, he shoots himself in the head. There's more, but you'll have to read it yourself, because I don't have forever. And at 1, painting. We all know about the Minecraft paintings. There's actually a specific set of paintings you're allowed to get, and any other painting is inconceivable unless you have a mod or resource pack. However, this story of a painting comes from a girl who claims she got a cursed painting using vanilla Minecraft textures, and that after she got it, it ruined her world. The painting was supposedly a picture of Herobrine, glowing white eyes and a forest behind them, but somehow the background kept changing. At first it was dark, but then it was day, and then it went back to night but the forest was on fire. Then he was in the nether, then the end. Then he came back and he was holding the Ender Dragon's head at his side. It stayed like this for the rest of the game. She got to the nether and then went to the end to fight the dragon, but the dragon was already dead. The egg was on the portal, and the dragon's head was beside it. When she came back, she noticed what had happened. The painting was showing Herobrine's activity through the world. She saw the forest fire that he had set that was coming towards her, and she had no way to stop it. There we have it, friends, the top 10 underrated scary gaming creepypastas. Because who needs grammar, right? If you enjoyed, be sure you hit like and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for daily gaming content, and ring the bell so you know when we upload. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.